Have you ever thought of diversifying your portfolio?
And you're like running to the store trying to get as many tampons as you can. And you just hope to God that you're not gonna bleed on the stage. Like there's been some girls that have like bled on the floor and shit like that. But I think that's my biggest struggle is that I have no idea what I wanna do. And everybody's like, find your passion and make your job out of your passion. I just like don't know what my passion is.
I underwear modeled a gay bar once. Welcome to Life and Times with Patrick Banks. Today, my guest is self-described as weird as fuck. She's a strong, independent woman that, like many of my guests, has a strong duality to her. A BC girl that surprisingly doesn't smoke that much weed. She's a Jill of all trades. Everything from camp counselor to nanny to home care worker to dancer. She acts like a grandma during the day, but despises the traditional 9-to-5 rat race. Thus, she chose a field that has substantially more lace. She's a Scorpio who won't hesitate to sting. I give you Hunter. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. Nothing too exciting, honestly. I sleep for most of the day and then I work at night. So during the days, I don't really do anything. But yeah, nothing crazy today.
So what do you do for work?
Well, when I was like right now or like what I used to do?
Yeah, well, you're working nights. Why are you working nights?
I work as a dancer. I actually work at a strip club. Ooh. So I'm a go-go dancer. So there's strippers and there's go-go dancers. So the difference is I just don't take off all my clothes. Like I wear a certain outfit that everybody, that our bosses decide us to wear and we all match. And then I dance the entire night around certain like tables. Like each table has a pole and then I dance at each pole and I rotate every 20 minutes. And it is very interesting job, but honestly, it's very hard on the body, but it's pretty entertaining in general.
For sure. Okay, so I have multiple questions. Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you have your costumes here or are they at the club?
No, our boss sends us a link on Amazon. And we just, whatever he like wants us to wear, we'll just like order it on Amazon. It's usually just like a sparkly bodysuit that's see-through. And then you have to wear 2 pairs of underwear underneath so that nobody can see. But half the time, like people be ripping that shit back.
Well, really?
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a no-no.
No, you're not allowed. But like people get excited. And then all of a sudden somebody will try and put a bill in and they'll fucking rip my whole asshole up. And I'm like, okay, let's not do that today, please. But yeah.
So how'd you get into that?
I've been working in the industry for like most of my life. And then I moved to Calgary and I met one of my best friends at the restaurant that I was working at. And she started dancing and she's been dancing for now 3 years.
So when you said industry, did you mean the restaurant industry initially?
Restaurant industry, yeah. I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 14, I believe. And she would always pick me up after work because we'd always finish around the same time, like around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And she'd always pick me up and she'd be like, this is how much money I made today. And I'd be like, damn, that sounds fucking nice. And then I actually did a shift at the strip club like almost 2 years ago now. And I did one shift and I remember thinking like, fuck, this shit is hard. Like, fuck that. And I never went back. And then a year went by and then I was still working in the industry and I was such a miserable bitch. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back. So then I texted my boss again and I was like, hey, like, can I come back and try again? And then I tried again and then I started dancing and serving. And then eventually I just quit serving and just started dancing full time.
Yeah, on your first day where you quit, what made you quit? Like what about it?
In my restaurant industry?
No, you said your first day trying out as a dancer.
Oh.
You ended up quitting. Like what was going through your head that day? Like what were the challenges you faced? Like I feel like there'd be lots. Like I know you have to be very like thick-skinned with regards to rejection. Like, you know, even if I had the body for it, like actually funny, it's on screen right now. I have a photo of me on Instagram. Like I underwear modeled a gay bar once.
Did you?
I did.
Stop, that's so funny. You'll have to show me that.
It was really funny. I was, long story short, so it was this gay club and all of the bouncers came from this one MMA gym. Yeah. And so one of their head bouncers was this girl. Coincidentally, her name was my same name. It's funny.
Okay.
Like my real name.
Okay.
And I was like coaching wrestling at this club and yeah, we ended up having a real fun summer. But she got me this job at the gay bar. And I do a terrible job of telling this story in this clip here. So It was Pride weekend, and the event was a modeling show for the designer Andrew Christensen, I believe. And then everyone like dropped out. She's like, I know someone who will do it. Calls me. She's like, do you know people who would do it? I'm like, yes. Like, brought like seven straight dudes to underwear model in the gay bar.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
okay, you'll have to show me those. I would love to see those.
Yeah, it was super funny. But like, yeah, I don't think, even in terms of, you know, like dating for approaching, like, I'm trying to get over this, but I used to have like a 3 strikes rule. Like, I'd approach like 3 people and I'd be like, I think I'm just gonna dance. I think I'm okay, you know? Like, I feel like, can you go through with me like some of the challenges you faced on that first day? And
it's very like, it's like weird to like imagine yourself like, it's very strange to like walk down there like half naked in these like ridiculously high boots. You feel like a freaking idiot, first of all. And you're walking down there and you just kind of have to like go with the flow. But you are wearing, there's like different sizes of heels. So there's 6 inches, there's 7 inches, and there's 8 inches. So I dance in 8 inches. So I'm like 6 foot tall when I'm at fucking work. It's ridiculous. And the shoes are like very pointed at the toes. And so your foot is very arched and you're dancing for like 8 hours straight. And the way that your fucking feet hurt so bad, you want to cut your feet off. Like, some people like will like not even make it through a whole shift and they'll like leave after 3 hours, or like some girls have like puked or whatever. Like, it's just like you lose all feeling in your toes if you do it for a really long time. Like, it really hurts, but then you get used to it. Like, now, like, I can be fucking just like giving her, I can just be running at work in those shoes. But if you work like 4 or 3 nights in a row, by like the 3rd shift, your feet are just crying. And it's also weird because you're just like very vulnerable, and it's like very strange. Like, when people come in there, like, you think that they care, but like they're coming obviously in there to see dancers, but like in your brain, like, you're over analyzing it so much. And I used to smoke a lot of weed before going into work, so I'd just be so anxious. I'd be like, ah! But I don't really smoke weed anymore because it just like makes you think way too much when you're in there. But once you kind of get past all that, then it's like pretty chill. Honestly, you just kind of shoot the shit with people and you're just kind of weird. Like, if you're just like yourself when you're in there, like, people find it strange when you like, it's like they don't think that you're real people when they come in. Like, they think they've like entered this new universe. And so like when I start talking normally or start cracking jokes or something, people are like, oh my god, she's a real person. And it's like pretty funny. But yeah, for like the rejection piece, it's like you just have to, honestly, like, you're not going to be everybody's type, and you just like have to not take offense to it. Like, I've had people say straight to my face, like, I don't really like you, I like the other dancer. And you're just like, okay, cool. And then I have some people that are like, I only like you and I don't like anybody else. So, and like half the people in there, like, you obviously are putting on like you're putting on an act. Like, you're kind of showing them what they want to see. So like each person is different. You kind of like evaluate kind of what they want. Like, if they want somebody to talk, or if they want somebody to just dance for them, or just give them attention, or like whatever. So you just kind of have to learn the crowd, and like some people are going to hate you and some people are going to love you. So it sounds kind of rude, but it's also kind of like not manipulation, but it is manipulation. It's just kind of like learning what they want from you, and then you kind of use that. Like, you kind of find out what they're interested in and like why they're coming in there, and then you kind of base off of like how you act to them and like how you dance for them in that way.
Yeah, you're kind of like analyzing them. So what are some things you look for that you would associate with certain behaviors?
A lot of people come in there because they're just like sad and lonely. Like, most of the time I'm just a therapist. Like, it is kind of funny because like, oh, like, you work at a strip club? Like, half the time I'm a fucking therapist. I just like sit there for these dudes and they're like, my wife left me, blah, blah. And they just like are sad and they need validation, and then you just like sit there and give them kind of the validation that they need. And it is quite interesting meeting all these different people, because you do get to meet a lot of different personalities and a lot of people, and it is quite fascinating. Like, I do appreciate all the people that come in, and obviously because a lot of people don't really like the strip club, and the people that do come in and spend money, it is like
when you say people, you predominantly mean men?
Yes, but sometimes the women be going crazy. Like, sometimes I'll get like a couple like older like moms at my table, or like a couple, and the girls always go like way more crazy. Like, if there's a guy and a girl sitting together, I always try and like morally dance for the girl, because she's more inclined to be like, give her money, because like the men kind of just like really like to just like watch and just like take it in.
Yeah.
But then the chicks are like, yeah, get into it, and then they'll like be like, go get money. So but like it is kind of fun to dance for girls. But then some girls like get like really into it. Like some girls like love you, and you're like, okay, what's up? Yeah, it is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the only times I really like going to the strip club is when I have a girl with me, because then you can like make out and then you go home and later. Like it's way better. Like
I don't know. There's been so many couples that pretty much are just like screwing each other in the booth, and I'm just like casually dancing in the background. I'm like, what's up, guys? Like some people get like so turned on to the strip club, and it like makes me laugh because I'm like going upstairs and burping and like eating snacks and coming back down. I'm like, okay, I'm back. Yeah.
So while you were talking about your feet, I had this image. There's something that they're seeing on screen. It's like this meme where it's like a, you know, the picture's cut in half, and on the one side it's like a ballet dancer, and the other side it's like a pole dancer. What's the difference kind of thing? And then my mind kind of went to like Black Swan shit. Like, do you know any strippers that like their toes fucking fuse together? You know, like the ballerinas, you know what I'm saying?
I would say some of them, like if some girls like do it for many, many years, like I've only done it for like probably like just over a year now, or a little bit longer. But like some girls are in there for like 6 years, and like their toes are pretty fucked up. And like that's why a lot of the girls that go switch to stripping, because it's half the work. Because when you're stripping, you just have to come downstairs for like a period of time, see who's down there, walk around, try and sell a dance. And if nobody wants to get a dance, you get to go upstairs and just like fuck around and like lie down. And so, but for us, like we're not allowed to stop. Like I have to dance the entire night, and like you're allowed to take like 10-minute breaks. So like run upstairs and you like get the 10-minute break, but it's like really not even a fucking break. But it is kind of nice because like we obviously kind of take advantage of it and take longer breaks. But like a lot of the girls will resort to stripping because it is way easier on the body and your toes don't get so fucked up.
What would you say to someone who said that go-going is like an apprenticeship for stripping?
I would say like, yeah, like if I walked into that club and automatically was a stripper, I would be like, what the fuck? But like now that I've been a go-go dancer, like I understand what they do, and I've like been in private dances with them and I've seen it. Like I feel like it's practically the same thing that I'm doing, but I'm just like walking around, and then I'm also like doing dances in the back. Like I don't do dances, but I'm still dancing for customers the entire night. So it's like kind of the same, but I would just be like more naked.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, like, yeah, at some point nudity's like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you just stop.
And like people have their opinions on it, obviously, and it really is what it is. Like we're all gonna fucking die anyways. Like if I can make money and like live a lifestyle that I want to be living, which is like not working a 9 to 5, I can do whatever I want during the week. I only have to work 3 nights a week if I really wanted to. I make my own schedule. If I want to day drink, I can day drink. If I like want to go out before work, I can go out before work. Like if I want to drink at work, I can drink at work. Like if I want to smoke weed at work, I can smoke weed at work. So it just kind of gives you that nice lifestyle of like you can kind of do whatever you want. It is kind of hard on the sleeping, obviously, because like I do be sleeping until like 1 o'clock every day. But yeah, honestly, people have interesting opinions on it, and I totally can understand it. But at the same time, like there's a huge respect in the job. Just like it is so hard. Like you can walk in there and be like, oh, this is so easy, but like the shit that the girls do like on the pole is so impressive. Like they like won't even touch the ground for like 10 minutes, and they're just like in the air floating and like doing crazy things. And like to learn those pole tricks and like to learn how to move your body like that is so insane. Like sometimes I'll be watching girls and I will just like stop dancing and I just like watch them, and I'm just like, that's fucking insane. Like the control over your body to like be able to do that is nuts. Each to their own. I mean, each to their own.
Sorry, I had 2 thoughts that kind of slipped my mind.
No, it's okay.
What's it like dancing while you're on your period? Like obviously some girls don't have to worry about that because certain birth controls like affect their period, but yeah, can you tell me about that?
Dancing on my period is very interesting. Like I honestly am very thankful that I go when I'm on my period because I don't have to get naked. But a lot of the girls obviously probably have IUDs or like are on birth control. I personally am not on anything, so I just be fucking bleeding when I'm at work. And honestly, it's scary. Like I'll like you put a tampon in, and like I'll always cut the string super short so then it doesn't hang out so you can't see it. But like sometimes like you got such bad fucking cramps and you're like trying to look sexy and you're just like low-key crying inside. And like some girls will like go on stage and they'll be like performing, and like their period string or like their tampon string will like hang out, and it's just like, oh, but at the same time it is normal, but it is kind of like, it's kind of scary, especially like last week I was on my period and we had to wear white and I was like, for fuck's sakes. And so like I'm constantly running upstairs and changing my tampon because it's like a pretty scary game you're playing. So
I'm so curious, like does anybody just like take that week off, you know?
A lot of the girls will like schedule themselves so that they're not working on their period.
I guess you don't always know when.
Yeah, like honestly, if I was fucking smart, I could get a fucking period tracker and I could know when I get my period tracker, but I just like to keep the suspense and just like hit me with a fucking surprise each day. So I personally don't do that. I really should. It would be really nice to know. But yeah, sometimes I'll be like an hour before work and then it's like boom, all of a sudden you got your fucking period and you're like, great. And you're like running to the store trying to get as many tampons as you can. It is an interesting experience, especially I couldn't imagine being a stripper, like being on your period, you have to go do a main stage show and you have to get fully naked, like, and you just hope to God that you're not going to bleed on the stage. Like there's been some girls that have like bled on the floor and shit like that. But
okay, so I remembered what I was thinking before. So when did you first fall out of love with the 9-to-5, if you ever were in love with it? Or when did you become disillusioned with the Canadian dream?
The 9-to-5? I don't know. I think it's kind of, I started getting, like when I started getting in my 20s, my mom's always kind of been like, she does so many different things and I've always like looked up to her, and I've just never enjoyed the idea of like being the same as everybody else. Like I really don't like the idea that everybody's like the fucking same in this world. Like just like going to work and then having dinner, doing what they have to do, going to bed and doing the same thing again. Like it just like, honestly, it makes me fucking depressed. Like when I do the same thing every day, like when I was having like regular jobs and I was doing the same fucking thing every day, like I actually would go crazy. Like I'd feel crazy. And then I just like got it in my brain that I just like, I hated the idea of a 9-to-5. Like I just like will despise the idea of being in the rat race. Like, and everybody does it. Like they spend their whole life doing a 9-to-5 and then they retire and then they're like, oh, like I wish I traveled when I was younger. I wish I did all these things when I was younger. And then now they're like in their 60s, retired, old and depressed and sad. So like life is there to be lived and there's so much to see and there's so many things that you can do and there's so many endless possibilities, but because we've made it so wired in our brains that we have to like get a fucking job and get our lives together and get that white picket fence and like have kids and have the husband. It's like so wired in our brains, and like that's how we grow up too. Like even like teachers and like all the school systems are like, this is what you should be doing. And I just like, I really don't like being controlled and I don't like being told what to do. And I just like could not see that lifestyle for myself because I think I would like drive myself nuts. And so I've just like always had this like hatred for the rat race. Like I just like despise it and I really don't want to be in it. So, and my mom's the exact same. I think I take a lot after my mom because she's the same and she's very like, does her own thing, like very like spiritual and just like enjoys life and like loves nature and also hates the 9-to-5. So I definitely take after her. And then my dad's a school teacher and I just fucking hate his job. So I'm like, I don't want to be a school teacher or do what you have to do every single day. So I just always resorted to like looking up to my mom and being like, I want to be like you. And she kind of just does whatever the fuck she wants all the time. So
do your parents know what you do for work?
My entire family knows except my dad. So my dad and my stepmom don't know, but he's very Christian and he's a school teacher, so he's by the books. And it's so funny, like I actually have like a little brother and he had texted me like a couple months ago. He's like, I was just at dinner with your dad and guess what he said? And I was like, what? He's like, I'm just so happy I kept my boy out of prison, my daughter's off the pole. And he was like sitting at the dinner table and he was just like biting his lip. He's like, that's too funny. That's
because your stepbrother knows.
Yeah. And when he texted me that, I was upstairs working at that time. I was like, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, when he finds out, you might break his heart.
If I found out, he's very like, he thinks a lot. Like if he did find out, like the man probably would not sleep for like a good like 5 months. Like every single night, I'm sure he'd go to bed and think about it, and then each day he'd have a new rebuttal for me about like how I should not be doing this. But at the same time, it's like I don't do it because I'm like, I want to be a stripper. I want to be seen like that. I do it because you make fast money and it gives you the lifestyle you want. And like some people respect it, some people don't. And like if I was to try to explain that to him, he would never understand it because he's just like so set in his ways, and he grew up in a totally different era than I did. So he like was raised very differently than we are. Like I would say our era is very like free spirited, and their era, like they didn't really have a lot of resources. Well, they did, but like very differently. And so he just would never understand it.
Yeah, we're definitely in the midst of what I would call like the second psychedelic revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting if you think about it. It kind of parallels women's empowerment as well. Obviously, the 60s was the kind of the first time that people had really experimented with psychedelics at a large scale. And it's actually very interesting to think really how different culture was between the 50s and 60s. You've never seen that before. I don't think you'll ever see it again because it was so drastically different. I understand like what, for the most part, like what that culture was kind of in the 60s, you know? Mm-hmm. And in that time, that was the first time humans ever had really high percentage contraception. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, it fueled the sexual revolution, is women could then not get pregnant, right? I know you said you aren't on birth control right now. Is there any like reasons for that? Obviously, I know I'm ignorant on the topic.
Yeah.
I'm not a woman. I'm not super adept to women's issues. You think you could shed some light on that?
So I was on birth control since like ages of like 14 until like early 20s. And when
is that young? That seems young to me.
Yeah, it was young. But the only reason I started birth control at that age, I think it was like 14 or 15, I started quite young, was because I just had such insane periods and I just like could not handle it. Like I just like needed something to stop my period from happening. And like it wasn't like I was just like going around fucking banging my whole high school class of 14. Like I was just taking it just because of my period.
We don't slut shame here anyways, even if you did. Okay.
But yeah, I took it for so long and I just like didn't really realize anything because it was like so normal because I had been taking it for so long. And then I decided to stop taking it when I was like 20, and I went off it. I was like, wow, this is how a normal person fucking thinks. Like I don't feel psychotic every single day. It doesn't like fuck with your hormones as much. Like you're not as like crazy, I would say. And like when I am on birth control, I find that it makes you gain extra weight. And so like when I'm on birth control, like my tits will double in size, and it just like drives me nuts. Like I just like don't like having that extra weight to me. Some girls do like it, whatever, like that would be great if I had bigger boobs, but I don't really want to gain weight in other places as well. But it just does kind of make you a little bit crazy. And there's also, I can't prove this or anything, but there's also been things saying like it can fuck with like fertility and like it can fuck with like things in the future. And I've always wanted to have a family, and I've always like wanted to like have kids one day. And if there is a slight chance that could fuck with it, like I really don't want to fuck with that shit because I had taken it for so long. And I just like don't like the way it makes me feel. Like it kind of like makes you feel fucking a little bit depressed and psychotic, and you feel like a psycho. And like there is a proven study where it like makes you attracted to the men that you wouldn't naturally be attracted to if you were off birth control, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it that well because I didn't really look into it. But like when you are on birth control, you're like attracted to like a different scent than you would be if you were off birth control.
Yeah, because the way birth control, like hormonal birth control works, which is I feel like all female birth controls, is it tricks your body into thinking you're already pregnant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I think it's just so strange. Like, where's all that blood going? Like, where is it going? Like, should it be going somewhere and it's not? I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because it's just your uterine lining. Do you still ovulate if you're on birth control? Or does that stop?
Well, I think so. Like, I still think you because it's like you have birth control and then at the very bottom of the pack you have sugar pills, and they're just like, there's nothing in it. And so you're supposed to take the sugar pills, and that's the week that you have your period. But when I was on birth control, I just double stacked my pills and not skip the sugar pills. So then when I double stack, I just wouldn't have a period.
That also could be why you weren't feeling that great.
Yeah. And so like you obviously knew when you were supposed to be having your period. So like, yeah, you could be acting a little bit extra crazy that day or whatever, or that week. Yeah, not a birth control fan.
No, that's fair. Okay, so 2 questions out of there. So based on the fact that you said you don't care or don't want to know when your period is, I make the assumption that I feel like you want to know the gender as a surprise. Or would you find out?
Like if I was pregnant?
Yeah. Would you get it checked, or would you find out when it happens?
Yo, as soon as I could, I'd get that. I would need to know. I would need to know immediately. Like if I'm having a boy or girl, like I need to know, because then I'm just like so anal, and I like love doing all that shopping, and like fucking I grew up in my mom like designed houses and shit like that, so like I love all that stuff. So like I would need to know immediately if it was a guy or a girl, because I would need to decorate accordingly, get the proper outfits. No, I could not go like months without knowing what my child is.
So do you ever worry that, obviously go against is like not a big deal, but in some people's minds it is.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's okay. For example, so the person that I mainly collaborate with, Johnny, we've kind of talked about this, but yet again, I haven't put this episode out yet, so I don't know how much of that episode I'm going to be cutting. So he was dating a girl, and you know he's Christian, and you know so he's kind of they have very strong family values. Like they're Syrian, and so they have like traditional conservative values, and I guess she had like a high sex drive, and had like fucked a lot of dudes over the years, whatever, like wanted to fuck all the time. I don't see anything wrong with this person. I'm like, oh no, that's such a bad problem to have, Johnny. But yeah, so whatever, his family didn't approve kind of thing, and he ended up breaking up with her. Yeah, some people do think that way, right? Like, I'm not saying you have a high body count or anything, but like some people like blanket, like you've said, people have all sorts of ideas about the industry. Do you think that would affect like your chance? I feel like you just have to find like an open-minded dude, or like someone who's like more progressive. But then if they're more progressive, like, so that's actually a problem where I'm kind of getting into right now. I'm older than you, but so if I want a family, like, I feel like you're a very unique person. The fact that you have kind of traditional values, but work in a very liberal space. Most people who work in that sort of liberal space, I feel like wouldn't want a family for the, like, at least that's my experience. And because I'm a drugged out, sad clown poet, raver, that's the scene that I'm in, and that is something that I want. So I'm kind of I'm thinking about going to church to find like a nice girl who wants a family, you know what I mean? Like, so have you ever thought of that sort of like from the flip side, like
finding a relationship while working in that job?
Yeah, or even how it may affect the dating pool after you transition from that job.
Honestly, a lot of the people that I work with have kids and have regular jobs. So like that's why I respect the job so much, is because a lot of the people in there, it is just a hustle for them, and it's a passion because they just like love it. It's like their side job that they do for fun. Like a lot of the people that I dance with have multiple children, and they have kids, and they have like a family. For me, honestly, like, I would not choose to be with somebody that would have a problem with what I do, because that means that they just don't understand me. And like, if you actually got to know me and understood me, like, I'm not this like crazy party girl that just like loves the idea that I'm a stripper and like whatever you...
Do you do cocaine?
No, I don't do cocaine. Whatever you view as a stripper, like in your mind, like from what you've watched from movies or whatever, like I'm not that person. Like I am just a regular person, and I do have good morals, and I do have like a good head on my shoulders. Like I just do it because it's getting me to where I want to be. Not per se, but like money wise, even though the money's been shit recently, but never mind. But if somebody isn't open-minded and can't understand why I'm doing it for like the reasons that I am doing it, then I don't think that I would be with that person. And like a lot of people can't understand it, but then a lot of people are really weird with it, and they view you as like this fantasy, and they don't view you as a person. So I struggle with that. Like, if you do tell somebody that you work at the club, they don't really view you as a regular person. They view you as this like fantasy, like sexy stripper dancer, when like I am just a normal person. And some people don't have a problem with it, and then some guys are like very jealous of it, I would say. But then at the same time, Yeah, but then at the same time, like, you have to have a very, like, willing and open, trusting, honest relationship. Like, all the people that come into the strip club, I have no fucking intentions on hanging out with, doing anything with. Like, when I am in there, that is my job, and that is how I make my money, and that's how I pay my bills. So I'm not in there, like, seeking this attention and, like, wanting to go home with these men. When I'm in there, I'm doing a job, and I'm getting my job done, and I'm going home. So, like, I'm not going in there, and I'm not, like, trying to find somebody to fuck that night or whatever it is. Like, when I'm in there, it's strictly business. Like, as soon as you start pulling out money, like, it's like a game. Like, you start playing the game. Like, if you're not pulling out money, if you're just, like, reaping the benefits and you're just sitting there and not fucking doing anything, then I'm not going to put, like, my full into it. But if you are sitting there and you're giving money, then I will put a performance on, and I will do the most that I can to do my job the best to make as much money as I can. And that sounds bad, but, like, it is the job, it is the industry, and that's how it works. And so if I was with somebody that couldn't understand that and understand, like, who I was as a person, then it is hard to, like, find somebody that, like, is open to it. But a lot of people are, but it's hard to find the ones that don't view it as, like, a fantasy and, like, as, like, this, like, oh my god, like, she's blah blah blah. Like, I am just a person. Like, it's really hard
I bet you can give a good fantasy though.
Yeah, like, when you're in there, it's like, oh, mind games, man. Like, when I'm at, like, home, or I'm just, like, doing my thing, like, I'm very, like, me. But then when I'm at work, like, I can put a fucking show on. Like, everybody can. That's kind of what you do. And it kind of depends on the person, honestly, but it's really hard to find somebody that sees you for an actual person and not just, like, a body.
Do you think your opinions on dating have changed since you started dancing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what were they before and what are they now?
I don't really know what they were before, because I was in a long-term relationship for a very long time. And then we split up, and then I was, like, working in the industry in Calgary, and I didn't really date or anything. But then working at the club, you just kind of learn that, I'm not going to say everybody, but, like, all dudes got a dog in them. Like, no matter who they are, like, they all have a side to them that's a dog. Like, I dance for lawyers, I dance for doctors, I dance for very professional people, I dance for businessmen, I dance for whatever. And when you're in that building, it's like all the bets are off the table and you can just be a fucking dog. And so, like, it is very hard for me to go out in the day-to-day basis and, like, have conversations with men or, like, speak to men or, like, go out, because I always have this underlining assumption that you're, like, planning something. Not planning something, but there's always an underlining expectation. And so it's very, like, they say what you want to hear so they can get what they want. And so I would say I have a really hard time with, like, dating and, like, meeting men nowadays, because there's constantly an expectation of having sex. And, like, you're never, I wouldn't say never, but it's really hard to be viewed as a person and, like, actually get to know somebody before they, like, bring in that sexual side. Because immediately, like, for my experience, not always, but, like, a lot of the time, I've always been viewed as just, like, a fun object and a body and not a person. And so I find that very frustrating. And then especially working at the club, it, like, heightens it, because all you're doing is dancing for people that are giving you money for your looks and your body. And which is fine. I'm, like, pretty good at, like, it is just a job. I'm pretty good at, like, blinking that out, but it definitely makes you have more awareness of men. That's for sure.
So let's get to know you. So you grew up in, like, a small town BC, something like that? And, you know, we have to say where, but yeah. Okay, so you came. So when I think of BC, small town, outdoorsy shit, are you, like, an outdoorsy person?
I, like, love sleeping. I like staying in. I mean, I was, like, an outdoorsy girl. Like, I like being outside. I like doing activities, but you wouldn't catch me, like, doing, like, a 5-hour fucking hike or anything like that. Like, both my siblings, like, they're very outgoing. They're very, like, in the fucking bushes and shit. Like, now that I'm older, yes, but I was more sports driven, and I just, like, I like running, but a lot of time I do like napping, so.
What kind of sports did you play? Aren't you a baller?
I played basketball growing up, and I played soccer. I now play softball in an old man's league. That shit is too fun. It's so fun. It's like the beer league. I danced when I was really, really young.
What kind of dancing?
I did hip hop when I was younger.
Do you ever bust any of those moves out now?
Sometimes if it's really fucking slow, like I'll just be really weird with it. Like I have like one security guy, every time he walks by me, he like pretends to be like a gorilla or something, and like I'll be like on the stage and I'll like pretend to be a gorilla, and some people but people like love that weird shit. Like if I'm weird, they like it even more. Like if I just like, or I'll like take people's like hats off and their glasses, and I'll like start like trapping with their hats on, and they're like, yo, she's so cool. And it's just honestly, you just kind of have to be weird, but it is kind of funny. What was your original question? Am I an outdoorsy girl?
Yeah, so we're just getting to know you. So your dad was a teacher. Yeah. Is it true that he taught at the school you went to?
Yes, he did.
Was he one of your teachers?
He was one of my teachers. He was my teacher in grade 8.
Whoa, how was that?
It was pretty funny, honestly. I was definitely a shithead and I didn't do any of the schoolwork. And he did almost fail me in grade 8. And then I'm pretty sure after that experience, he went to the principal and said, do not put her in any more of my classes. So I'd never had him for the rest of my high school experience. But he definitely did not enjoy, well, he did, but he didn't. Like, every time I saw him in the hallway, I'd yell his real name and he'd get so pissed off. He'd be like, say my teacher name. And then I'd continuously say it and he would like pull me aside and he'd be like, hey, you need to quit it. You need to quit it. And then every birthday that I had at school, when I was like grade 8, grade 9, it was so embarrassing. But by grade 12, I was like, you're such a fucking ass. He would come into each class that I was in and he'd interrupt my entire class. He'd be like, hey, everybody, like, I just want to let you know, it's my daughter's birthday today. And the whole class would be dead silent, like, staring at me. And I would be like, okay. And then he'd be like, oh, and what are those, like, stupid patch dolls? Those, like...
Sour Patch Kids?
No, not Sour Patch Kids. They're, like, Bratz dolls or something. He'd be like, they came in the mail today. Or something like that. He'd say something really embarrassing that came in the mail for me. And people would look at me like I was crazy. I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So it was definitely funny and entertaining going to the same high school as him. But there were some perks, but there was also, he was really annoying. But I mean, I annoyed him even more, so.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. I went to 9 schools.
That's insane.
How many schools did you go to?
2.
That's good.
2. I went to elementary school and I went to high school and that was it.
Sick. So you knew everyone?
Knew everybody. Yeah, everybody knew me because I was the teacher's daughter. So like when I do go home, like I hate going home because everybody just associates me as like the daughter of the school teacher. So that is honestly why I left, because I was just like, I want to go grocery shopping and nobody says hi to me. And it's so nice. I like walk outside and not a single soul says hi to me. I'm like, this is amazing.
It is nice. So you said dancing is very lucrative. Would you be willing to share ballpark? Like what are we talking about here? You know, like what was the number your friend told you in the car that piqued your interest for the profession?
It's hit or miss, honestly. It's like any other job. Like if you work in the industry and you serve, it's just like that. Like you can walk out with a fucking $100 for 8 hours and you can walk out with a fucking $1,000. So it depends on like the months. Like it's been really slow, but like if you have a good month and you've been there for a while and you have regulars, like you can walk out with over a rack. So it kind of depends.
Is it true that they don't pay you hourly? Can you tell me like how does that work? Is that legal?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't think that it's illegal because the job is under the I'm not getting paid hourly. It's just you get paid cash. Whatever you make is whatever you make.
Oh, it's just cash job. You're not a contractor or anything. It's just cash job. Wouldn't that be funny if you like signed a contract?
Mm-hmm. Well, in Alberta, you have to have a license to be a stripper. Like if I wanted to be a stripper, then it would be different. Like I think that they do get paid, but because I'm just a go-go, it's just there is no license for it. But it is just a very like depends on the day, depends on the people, depends on the customers, depends on the month. Honestly, like you can have a really good night. Some people are like, oh my god, like you must be so rich, and I'm like, actually no, I'm broke as fuck, but thank you. But like sometimes I can make like fucking $50 and sometimes I can make like $900. So it's gas when you do have those nights, because you could work like 3 hours and make like $900 and you're like, this is the fucking best job ever. And then you can work 8 hours and make $80 and you're like, that I just got paid less than minimum fucking wage for the last 8 hours and ruined my body. So, but I mean, you have to understand what you're signing up for. Like I'm choosing to do this. This is the job that I chose to do. So like, you can't really complain because I'm the only one that can change it. Like if I really hated it that much, I could go get a normal fucking job. But you just kind of roll the dice. You hope for the best.
Have you ever thought of diversifying your portfolio? Yeah, so like obviously, like where's the line to you? Like, would you do OF? Like what, you know what I mean? Like what different streams of revenue? You could get merch.
No.
Yo, we could take a photo of you right now and put you on a shirt, and that would fucking sell. Straight up. No. We have to like slut you up a little bit more, but yo, I can see it. I have a vision. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think I'd get into any of that, honestly. Like, I'm very like, as much as like, yeah, haha, like she works at the club, I'm very to myself, to be honest. Like, I'm very like not that type of girly, I would say. Like, you wouldn't really see me on OnlyFans or anything. Like, I don't think I'd ever do any of that. I just do it for the entertainment. Like, the entertainment I get, like, I get so humbled from that job. Like, I be fucking up daily, making fun of myself, and it's just pure entertainment. Like, I'd just be laughing at myself the whole fucking time. Like, I just like can't even take myself seriously. Never mind if I did like an OnlyFans or anything. I don't think I could do that. But definitely don't want to do it for like long term, but like for right now it's fun.
Yeah, so obviously you have like an exit strategy. When you transition from this, have you thought about what you might want to do in the future?
I think that's my biggest struggle, is I have no idea what I want to do. And everybody's like, find your passion and make your job out of your passion. I just like don't know what my passion is. So who knows what I'll do, but I would love to like run something myself. Like if it's my own business or if it's like something that I created, that I would love to do that. But for the most part, I really don't really know what I want to do. I love the sports world. I'd love to do something maybe in the sports world, but we'll kind of see where the wind takes me. Who knows?
But on that note, thank you so much for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And that's the Life and Times.
Thank you.
Sometimes things that are dangerous are also fun.